What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to be working on a 2014 Mustang GT. If you haven't seen this car previously on the channel, we fixed the front end, we fixed the quarter panel, but in today's video we are going to be fixing a rear axle. And I'm going to show you the reason why, but here is the rear axle that I got. I think it's a US standard part made in USA. Comes with a lug nuts, studs, bearing, and also seal, and also ABS ring which you got to press on. And for my oil choice, I go with AMS oil, and I also do have Ford Racing friction modifier, which is behind the house, if you know those things smell. But yeah, two of these should do a job, and let me show you why we're doing this. Alright, here is the car. Limited edition, Hertz Penske. And brakes off. Alright, I have the car in gear. You can tell, but that damn it's not right. The axle is bent, so yeah. Alright, let's start working on the car. Alright, we're underneath the car. Where the axle is, it looks like she's been leaking a little bit. There's some dirt caked on. But I'm gonna use some brake cleaner, clean it off, take the bolts off. And for right now I'm just gonna change the oil, and then down the road I'll look at that seal, but not right now. Alright, the cover is off. Looks like the oil was good, and this is 355, and it's perfect because the locking pin nut is right there, so it's gonna work really good. So next thing is I'm gonna have to take off the brake and come back here and do this pin and pull out the axle. Alright, so let's get this safety pin off. Nice. Okay, the pin is off. So on this pin, my dumbass, you're supposed to do a 90 on it, and then you can pull it out. Got caught on the flat surface, but you learn and you pay. Here's the pin. Alright, so I'm gonna push the axle I'm trying to take out in, and you should see the C clip being exposed, or should fall out. And she's in. And best way to get that clip is a magnet. Yeah, here we go. So now our axle should be able to pull up. Alright, here are the axles, pretty much the same. I'm gonna have to press this in and press this ABS or whatever you want to call it, traction control ring, onto the axle, and I want to see if actually they need to press it or does it just slide on. So let me see that. Alright, this does have to get pressed on, and then these as well. So onto the press. I gotta go slowly because it is getting super hot, and then this ring will just slip on right here. How about this homemade contraption? I'm using a disc so I can center the axle on it. Slide this down a little bit using the disc. You can see that. I'm gonna center it, I'm gonna press it on, and it should go on evenly. Alright, now that I got a pin out, I just noticed that I am actually missing the S spring that holds the pressure on the clutches a little bit, and I did notice that oil that was in there, it's kind of brand new, but there's no friction modifier. The oil doesn't smell as bad, so whoever did a job on this one did a really shitty job. Put a cheap oil in there, and you can see that spider gear, there's some clutch material on it or some dirt, so I do gotta wash all this out. And I also did order brand new seals for the wheels, brand new bearings as well, and I did order 4 racing clutches that I'm going to put in there, and I did order a seal for the pinion as well. So it's going to be full rebuild from now on. Here you can see the oil, pretty clean, new, but there's a lot of residue and everything. Nice, came out perfect. Alright, seal and bearing is removed. Inside the housing, it's pretty clean, a little bit of sludge, but I'll wash that with the brake cleaner. And here is the old seal, and here is the new one. I actually like the new one because I was thinking of adding a little bit of silicone on the side, but it already has a nice rubber seal, so when it goes on there, it'll seal 100%, so I don't have to worry about future leaks. So I got the pinion and the main gear washed, clean. Also this seal actually has started leaking because you can see over here, kind of just cleaned it off a little bit, so that's good. I'm changing that. So now for the fun part is the pinion seal, so that's gonna be a little bit of a hassle, but I'm gonna get it done. Alright, I'm not showing much, but I took off a drive shaft. There are 6 bolts like this. Took it off, and I get a elevator up there so it's not in my way. So now there's a 27mm bolt which I marked. I don't know if you can see those black lines, so that way I know where to put it back, and I counted how many threads are left because I want to have the same preload on it, and the gap, whatever you want to call it, lash. So I know what it is. I counted these, took a picture of it, and now I'm gonna take that off and pull the rest of it off. Alright, here's my seal. I cleaned it as much as I can, so now I'm just gonna drive this in with the rubber hammer and be done with it. Alright, new seal is in. That was tedious work. Basically go with a hammer all the way around a million times, but it's on. So now I'm gonna put back the drive shaft and call it done. Alright, so the rear main seal is done. Drive shaft is aligned as well, tightened. So now I get to put some bearings in. We finally got a break from the heat. It's raining mid-August, and here is the diff cover. Look, all this material that was built on here, on the magnet. I don't think it's a magnet, and there's like a really thin coat of all the sludge on there. So this axle was kind of mistreated, but I'm glad I'm putting everything new in there, so it's going to be a fresh axle. And here are the clutches that I took out, and this was, I never seen anything like this. I don't know if it's from here or, but it's kind of like tapered in. But yeah, this is what came out. They're kind of worn down pretty good. Not sure if the camera is gonna catch, but they're there. And here are the new clutches. I can't say they're carbon fiber, supposedly coming to GT500. This is the item number. I don't know anything about them. I'm using them. They have good reviews, so I'll see how that is. And look at the spider gear. Spider gear has a lot and lots of heat on it. So this was installed very wrong, and I didn't have a S-type spring in there. So I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna measure my thickness, and once I measure my thickness, I will put them all in here and I'll show you the process. Alright, here the old clutches were stacked up, which is the wrong way of stacking it, and also this last shim was not supposed to be there. So you have to have a steel plate clutch, steel plate clutch, steel plate clutch, and then the shim. And the thickness of a clutch pack with the shims and everything else should be around like 650, 661. So I mean, I didn't compress it down really good, but that's how it is. So now I'm gonna soak all the clutches in a friction modifier, and then we are gonna reinstall it on gears. Alright, so we're gonna stack this. It goes a plate, then a clutch. This have been pre-soaked in Track, and then it goes a plate, then it goes another plate, then goes a clutch, then goes a plate, goes a clutch, and a shim. Pretty much that's that on that one. Same thing on this one. We're gonna repeat the process. And then I'll lube these up, but and that's it. Now we just get to install it in the car. Alright, got the S-spring in there, and that was really hard. The spider gears have just enough amount of the lash. So next thing is axles and then C-clips. Alright, the S-spring in, the axle, the C-clips are in, lock bolt is in there, so it's all good right now. It's pretty good. So now I'm just gonna put a cover back on and fill it with oil. Alright, so axle, rear diff cover, brakes almost on. So now I'm just gonna put a friction modifier, this is the one that I'm using, inside the first bottle, and then I'll just fill the axle, put an even surface, level it out, and fill it up till it starts puking out of the fill hole, and that should be it. Alright, I got the car running, so let's put it in a drive and then see what happens. Alright. That looks to me like it's running straight. There we have it. She is fixed. The rear end is fixed and it cost me about $375. $125 was the axle, $150 were the clutches with the S-spring because it was missing the S-spring as you seen it, and about $60 in oil and $40 in bearing seals and everything. Now she is 100% legit. I don't know who did it previously, but did a Mickey Mouse job. Now I know I'm 100% set for 100,000 miles on this car. Pretty much that's gonna do it for this job. And like I always say, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe.